Korea's nuclear weapons program, and another blaming China for not cracking down harder on the rogue nation. So how effective or harmful may Trump's Twitter diplomacy be with regards to the global risks posed by rogue regimes like North Korea? Insight now from Bruce Klingner, one of the world's go-to experts on North Korea, having run the CIA's Korea branch during the Clinton administration. Welcome, sir. Good to have you with us, Bruce.
Thanks for having me.
How dangerous is North Korea? How unstable is its leader, Kim Jong-un?
Well, Kim Jong-un has a firm control of the North Korean regime. But that said, North Korea is a very real threat. North Korea is easily ridiculed, a funny little country run by a funny little guy. But they have a 16 to 20 nuclear warhead arsenal. They are increasing the testing of their missiles in order to deliver them. North Korea, or South Korea and Japan are likely already under a nuclear threat. And North Korea continues to develop ICBM capabilities against the continental U.S.
How close are they to having that ability? There are various predictions that they may have it now to they may not have it for many, many years.
It's very hard to determine exactly where North Korea is on the path, but we know what path they're on. 4 U.S. four-star generals have said they think North Korea either already has the capability to target the U.S. with a nuclear warhead, or we must assume they do. Other experts will say it may still be a few years away, but I think certainly within Mr. Trump's first term.
You're aware of Mr. Trump's tweets with respect to North Korea. What do you think of them? Is he right, or is he partly right in the idea that China, there he said, just stated that it's in the final stages of developing a nuclear weapon capable of reaching parts of the U.S. It won't happen. It would sound as though you disagree with that. China has been taking out massive amounts of money and wealth from the U.S. in a totally one-sided trade, but won't help with North Korea. Nice. Is he right to pressure China to put more of its heft and influence on that regime, because they are basically its only ally?
Well, I hope when Mr. Trump assumes office, he'll work policy making through the bureaucracy and through the system rather than limiting himself to Twitters. It leaves a lot of uncertainty amongst our allies and domestically as to what he means by a very short tweet. That said, China certainly has shown itself repeatedly to be part of the problem rather than part of the solution. They act like North Korea's lawyer in the UN Security Council. They turn a blind eye to North Korean proliferation on their soil, and they only meekly implement the required sanctions. But there are things the U.S. can do to try to wean away Chinese banks and businesses from engaging with North Korea. Implementing what's called third-party sanctions, we can influence the behavior of the banks and businesses, even if the Chinese government doesn't want them to stop dealing with North Korea. And we saw that in the past.
You know, Bruce, listen, North Korea is a shakedown nation. Bruce, you know that better than anybody, right? I mean, whenever they need something, food, money, whatever, they start to rattle the saber, bring people to the table, probably through the Swedish or some other neutral countries, a consulate in that country. But how do we fix North Korea? Does it have to be the end of the Kim dynasty? Does Kim Jong-un have to die unexpectedly? What are we going to do to finally get this most closed and just awful nations in the world to open up? Millions starve to death every year there.
Right. I think analysts are really coming to the conclusion that the only way that the various North Korean problems, the nuclear, human rights, et cetera, it will be solved is once that regime goes away. Now, trying to bring about an end to a regime can unleash a lot of scenarios that are not what we want. Implosion, explosion, all can be very dangerous. In the meantime, what we need to do is step up the game on targeted financial measures and sanctions. The Obama administration has talked a good game, but they've really underperformed. It's been a policy of timid incrementalism. This last year was the first year that the U.S. has cumulatively sanctioned as many North Korean entities as Zimbabwe entities. There's a lot more we can do, not only against North Korea, but also against the Chinese violators.
What is the risk that non-timid approaches to North Korea result in something that we would prefer not happen?
Well, North Korea is going to do provocations in the sense of nuclear tests, missile tests, regardless of what we do. They have a decades-long quest to develop a nuclear arsenal and the means to deliver them. So we shouldn't refrain from enforcing our own laws because China won't like it or North Korea won't like it. you know, we do need to enforce our laws. We need to impose a penalty on those that violate our laws and UN regulations, resolutions, and also put in place measures to constrain the inflow and outflow of the items for their nuclear and missile programs.
All right, Bruce, thank you very much. We hope you'll come back again.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
The new year bringing new highs in the global markets. Russia, Germany, France, and Britain's FTSE 100